He who controls the transitions controls the power.
It's true.
Yep.
You do wield great power over me.
Yeah, because it's like, Paul, what are your opinions? Explain.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get into Paul's opinions, in June, Paul and I will be at Shift Happens Conference. You can find that at shifthappenscon.com. And yeah, should be.
Make sure you don't mishear that. It's Shift.
Shift, yes. Shift
With an
Happens.
It's
Ducks over there is good with the titles.
Yeah, self-explaining play on words.
I think their other one is like Back That Sass Up.
Nice. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they've got it.
You like
June, DC. Cherry blossoms won't be in bloom then, but
it? No, that's true. But
it'll be green by that point, I think.
Yeah, I'll be running around DC like a madman. I can't wait.
You might want to rephrase that before we actually.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mean like a gun-toting madman. I mean like someone who loves DC madman. Yeah, I'll be visiting museums and stuff.
Yeah, of course. It'll be a great time. It'll be a great time. Interesting. So I think you brought this up. Edge is now 32-bit enabled for all the peasants still running.
Yeah, you're motioning toward a picture of an MSDN thing, but yes, I did write up that Edge is now available 32-bit. So if you remember when they first announced the preview beginning of last week or whatever, it was 64-bit only, Windows 10 only. It's still Windows 10 only, but now 32-bit. ARM64 is coming. Windows 7, Windows 8.1 are coming. Mac is coming. So there'll be more.
I mean, whatever. Somebody in the comments wrote, I already subscribed to Paul, but I will also subscribe to hear Paul describe his neighbors. For those who missed
What you want to subscribe to is Paul has a conversation with his neighbors, because I can assure you, those never go well. Those never go well.
For those who don't understand the joke, you can go watch the live version, and Paul describes what happened this morning.
Was that recorded? Fantastic.
Just in case your neighbors watch.
If you just want to know how my neighbors celebrate the death of Jesus, tune into the live show. It's crazy.
But on the good side of this Edge update stuff, it fixed the one bug that I had that would not recognize when I would create web apps. It wouldn't recognize that they were on my machine.
Okay.
It now, when I go to whatever the little button is, you click it in web apps, and then it shows them all that are installed.
Interesting. So are you on dev then? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Because I've been running the, maybe I should update this actually. I've been running the Canary version, and I've actually seen changes day to day, meaningful changes. There was like the day 2 version of the product had a bug with Momentum, which is the extension I use for the new tab experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that they fixed that in 2 days. And then I've seen some other, maybe people remember this better than I do, but I don't believe the product shipped with Reading View on day 1. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I can't.
That's in there. Yeah, I can't remember.
It is going to be a nightmare trying to keep track of all the changes if anybody's really trying to do that with each release, because they're pushing out updates every single day. So, or in theory, every day, at least a couple times a week, if nothing else.
I know it's been every day. I mean, I don't know weekends, but I mean, I've noticed I've had to restart the thing almost basically every day. So.
Yeah, we went from getting 2 updates per year to
yes. Yes, but you know what? So, but the story with Edge has always been the Windows 10 updates too much, Edge updates too little. And so I think flipping the script on that is a good idea, because honestly,
oh sure,
well, it's a new browser, so obviously they have a bunch of stuff to do. But with web browsers in general, I think it's every 6 weeks that Chrome is updated, Chromium as well, and I think the new Edge too. It's a good schedule. We have to keep up with the pace of the web.
Yeah. And the pace of the web moves slightly faster than Windows.
It's internet speed, as I think Netscape coined the term 20 years ago.
How'd that work out for them?
They died at internet speed, Brad.
Yeah.
Fortunately. But yeah.
Ironically, to a browser that is now dead. Still ships with Windows, but
I mean, they were a little ahead of the time, but they had the right idea.
Well, they had a bad business model, unfortunately, that was easily exploited by Microsoft. And
yeah. People forget this. You were supposed to pay for Netscape, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the beginning, they expected people to pay for that product, and Microsoft said, we'll just give it away.
Yeah. If everybody thinks Google came up with that business model of just offering software for free, nope. Microsoft did it to kill its competitors.
Yeah. So there's some irony to this happening to Microsoft now.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, things have changed.
A little bit. I mean,
a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. This question came up, and I meant to ask you before the show, but we'll have to find out. Do you know if like Windows 8 keys and 7 keys will still activate Windows 10?
Yeah, they do. I just to clarify this, I don't have any way to test otherwise, but I know that retail keys work. I have been told by people, I guess I could test this. Supposedly, if you have a key on, a sticker on your laptop, that will work. That's not ever been my understanding, but yes, the version I've been able to test because I have so many of them left over is retail keys, and yes, they do still work to activate Windows 10. Yep.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
I cannot remember the last time I had to activate.
I actually do this fairly regularly.
Because you hate yourself, but yeah.
No, I mean, no, sometimes it will just be, I need to install a virtual machine for whatever reason, for the book usually, actually. Every once in a while I'll just do it, just to see if it still works. But
I don't think I have clean installed Windows.
Really?
18 months?
Wow.
This particular machine, this podcast machine.
Yeah.
Could be 3 years.
That's amazing.
I haven't had a need to yet.
I mean, I think I'm kind of compulsive, and I think a lot of people who would watch the show are probably in the same boat.
Sure.
I mean,
in the Windows XP days, it was just routine maintenance. Oh, it's been 3 months. Let's just blow it away and start over again and get all performance back.
Well, I test a lot of stuff too, and at some point, I think I told you the story last weekend. I blew away this computer. It was not a clean install. I actually used reset, and I did something I never do, which is I did reset while keeping the data. And the reason is I don't know the exact size, but some tremendous number of photo scans still to sort through on the 21 gigabytes worth. And I was like, look, I've backed it up and everything. I can get it back, but it's just such a pain in the butt to bring it back and forth. And so I was like, let me just give that a shot. It actually worked fine. It's good.
Yeah. Something to keep aware of if you've been trying to install the patch Tuesday from this month and you're running antivirus software. It's probably not working out so well for you, to be honest, because it seems like just about everybody's been added. So we've got McAfee, Avast, Avira, and a few others. There's compatibility issues, mostly because this stuff runs at super low level, and then it gets patched. And
so I didn't follow this story yet. The story you're referring, but this is something that's come up before. Microsoft made some changes to Windows 10, and I want to say it was Kaspersky that first pointed it out, like that this would disadvantage antivirus, third-party antivirus. But what you're saying, if I understand it, is that this change has been implemented, and now all of a sudden nothing works.
Yeah, the symptoms are if you install a patch Tuesday, and then you restart, and you notice your machine's a little sluggish or just doesn't respond at all. Kind of important when using a PC. You can, I was going to say you can blame your third-party antivirus, but you can blame the patch, and so you should wait before installing that, even though there's 2 zero-day vulnerabilities in this patch release. So figure out which one's worse.
It's almost like you should have 35 days before you have to install a patch.
But you got to remember to renew that.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other fun one was Facebook yesterday, during the midst of some political announcements, decided to update a weeks-old blog post and said, hey, remember those passwords we said weren't all that secure? Well, yeah, there's a couple million more, and it involves like all our platforms. And by the way,
meaning like Instagram.
Yeah. It's good that they choose the right times to announce and make sure their customers are secure. But on the other side, Facebook is supposedly building a voice assistant because that's what we want from that company.
Yeah. No, we need another one. And here's the company no one trusts. Why don't you put it like an all-listening microphone into your home?
Well, they were pitching their Facebook portal thing, the giant.
Yeah.
They're like, get it for Mother's Day because that's what Mom wants.
Maybe that's always on
thing from the Devil Network. It's
yeah, exactly. It's like following the guy around the kitchen when he's walking and talking or whatever. Yeah, that's what the microphone's going to do, except you won't know it's doing it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so, that's kind of the big crap of the week, at least the last 24 hours.
Right. Well, there's the picture you have there is for the MSDN thing. That's actually kind of interesting. So Windows 10 version 1903 is actually available on MSDN. Usually it happens much later in the cycle. So it's not going to be publicly available till the end of May, but they've made it available to developers now, which frankly is, it's weird in two ways. I mean, first of all, developers should always get access to this stuff first. So what's the difference? But Microsoft yesterday put out a call for developers to start creating new apps based on the SDK that's tied to this release. They've issued a go live license, meaning that you can submit apps to the store, and if they're approved, they'll be put in the store, and you could actually have an app that literally would require this new version of Windows, which is not publicly available, which is kind of strange. And I find that to be a little odd. Microsoft, you may have heard this story, but Microsoft got in trouble for shipping an update a little too early last year.
Oh, really? Please go on.
Yeah, I know. It should have made more headlines, but now they're like holding this thing back extra late, which is laudable. It's fine. It's a good idea, but they've actually given developers the go ahead to write apps for a version of Windows that is not out in the real world for some reason. So they're kind of I don't know. They're kind of goofy to me, but that's what they're doing.
Well, it's a career, as they would say. Is
Yeah. Yep. There's also the back-to-back stories, right? The smart speakers. YouTube Music has a free ad-supported tier if you have a Google Assistant-powered smart speaker.
Yep.
And then 10 seconds later, Amazon announced that if you have an Echo or Alexa-powered speaker, there's a free ad-supported music version of Amazon Music, right? And then, of course, people see that. They're like, oh, Amazon's just copying YouTube. Except for one thing. Actually, the Amazon Music thing was leaked like 2 weeks ago, and it's only just coincidental that YouTube was able to get theirs out first. It's more likely that Google is copying Amazon here, frankly, but whatever. It's a good idea. So.
Yeah, options are always a good thing, although Amazon's music subscription options are always a little confusing. They've got too many.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They need to figure that out. The other, since you brought up Google, the other interesting thing now is rolling out, and if this makes you excited, have at it. Have at it. The ability to, some admins, I should say, are starting to see in Office 365 the ability to port from Google Apps over to Office 365. So that's starting to show up, which I think comes courtesy of the LinkedIn acquisition, because they were all running the Google Apps and making lemonade there.
Huh. That took them quite a little while.
Yeah,
LinkedIn was also using a non-Microsoft technology for screen presentations, like when you called in, you had like a meeting with them online. I don't know if they were using Zoom or some third-party thing. So,
which that company
kind of reminds
public,
me of the days.
I don't know if you saw, there was a report out, and it probably led to some of their stock price
Zoom did.
Jumping. That Microsoft tried to buy Zoom multiple times, and they were just like, nah.
Oh, interesting. Because I got to tell you, HP and some other companies use Zoom, and I'm going to use a word I don't often use with Skype. It works.
Yeah. And the people that use it love it. It's, maybe they could listen to some feedback.
Yeah.
All right. What you got going on this weekend, Mr. Paul?
We are heading to Pittsburgh. I don't know if you know Bob Stein, but
I do not.
Ran the ActiveWin site back in the day.
I do know ActiveWin.
Yeah. So he started that, I guess.
Okay.
And, so I've known him for possibly 20 years, actually, for a long time. But we're going to meet up with him. That's kind of cool. So he lives in that area. But we were out there just to look at some schools for my daughter because, we have to spend 2 years looking at every school in the United States so we can figure out where I'm going to flush my money down the toilet for those 4 to 5 years that she'll be in school. So, yeah, that'll be fun. How about you? Any adults dressing up as Easter bunnies and running around the yard chasing children in your future?
Not explicitly on the agenda. I mean, it is Passover weekend. It's Easter weekend, depending on whatever side of the cross you fall.
Yep.
We got that going. Actually, it's supposed to rain all weekend.
I know. That's terrible.
It's actually raining right now, and so there's.
I'd like to go to a baseball game on Sunday if I can, but it's going to be based on. I don't want to sit in a giant stadium in the rain.
Yeah.
Plus, if it gets rained out, They give you tickets to another game. And it's like, Pittsburgh's not close.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, all right, folks. So that wraps it up for this week. Next week will maybe be normal. We don't know. We will find out. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.